What's up? Welcome in to A Few Rows Up. I apologize if my voice is a little bit scratchy. Just kind of had a funky throat thing right now. I don't really know what's happening, but I appreciate you tuning in. Round one of the NBA playoffs just finished, and the haters are in absolute shambles right now. So be sure to check in on your NBA hater friends, your LeBron hater friends, because, man, the rest of us are eating good right now. So weekly recommend for this week, with the recent release of the Michael Jackson movie, I highly recommend the documentary on Netflix called Greatest Night in Pop about the making of We Are the World. Really cool archival footage of MJ, Stevie Wonder, Cyndi Lauper, just all those icons who worked on the song. Really cool. I love watching talented people do really cool stuff, which is a lot like the NBA playoffs. So let's talk about it. This is A Few Rows Up. This had to be one of the best first rounds that I can remember. Usually this round, all the underdogs lose and the worst of them get swept, but we only had one sweep this round. 6 of the 8 series went to 6 games. We had 3 game 7s, a couple of 3-1 comebacks involving the 1 and 2 seeds in the East. The top seeded Detroit Pistons were down 3-1 to Orlando, who had them on the ropes in game 6. The Magic were at home and had a chance to seal the deal. They were up 24 points, but the Pistons finally showed why they were one of the best teams all season, and they outscored Orlando in the second half 55-19. Scoring 19 points in an entire half in a home closeout game? How on earth was this team up 3-1, bro? Then Detroit pulled away in game 7, and the upset was just not to be. The other team, though, up 3-1 was the Celtics, who were heavy favorites in this series against the 76ers. So it's a little different from the Magic lead because the Magic were not supposed to be up 3-1 and the Celtics were. But like the Magic, they lost the lead and with it, the series. The 3-ball really failed the Celtics. Everyone knows that Boston just hoists threes. They usually make a high percentage of them, so that's kind of just their game plan. But yeah, really failed them. They shot 36 of 126 during the comeback, like over the last 3 games. So that means they missed 90 threes as a team over the course of that comeback. Not good. Philly now plays New York, who, in a good series, actually. It went 6 games, but they just laid an unfathomable beatdown on Atlanta in their series-clinching win. This is how the first half went in that game, okay? Knicks led 5-0. Then Atlanta went on a 9-0 run. So now it's 9-5 for Atlanta, right? It's in Atlanta. The crowd's kind of into it and whatever. But what transpired was a 43-6 run by New York, and then by halftime they were up 83-36. So that 47-point difference actually is the largest halftime lead in NBA history. And like I said, it was a good series, just a comical ending, for lack of a better word. Cavs and Raptors were the final Eastern Conference matchup. I thought this was going to be a sweep for the Cavs. So credit to Toronto. The Raptors took them to 7 games. A lot of surprises in the first round. We'll get to a couple more later. But yeah, game 6, RJ Barrett did his best Kawhi Leonard impression with the high ricochet game-winning shot. And then the Raptors came out strong in game 7, I thought, but seemed to maybe show some fatigue in the second half, and Cleveland pulled away and won the series. Shout out to my cousin Sam, who plays for the Cavs. He had a great game. It was cool to hear Mike Tirico talk him up during the first half. A lights-out shooter, great defender, and I'm excited to continue watching him in the playoffs, and I'm excited to continue watching the Cavs. The Cavs might be right now my pick to come out of the East. I mean, I picked the Celtics, and obviously they're done. So, but I really like the Cavs. I really hope LeBron decides to go back to Cleveland and retire there. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if LeBron is really leaning towards that right now, but or if like Cleveland's on board with it. I know Cleveland maybe has their own thing that they want to do, and like that's fine. But as a LeBron fan and as someone who's seen LeBron with Cleveland, I think it would be a really cool bookend to his career. Speaking of LeBron, though, I mean, what is there to say? Even his biggest supporters like me are in awe of what this man is doing right now. In a series against Houston, where many picked them to lose, and some actually picked the Lakers to get swept, they actually found themselves up 3-0 and looking for a potential sweep. They eventually won 4-2, but the reason why the Lakers were up 3-0 in the first place is because a 41-year-old was able to defy any sense of physical logic, biology, and like anyone's understanding of time and what that should do to the human body, right? What he did in game 3 to steal the ball down 3 and then hit the game-tying shot is just otherworldly. Tari Eason, who plays for the Rockets, was the only Rockets starter with a physical body when LeBron entered the NBA. None of the other Rockets starters were even born yet when LeBron was drafted. And then fast forward to today, and LeBron led both the Lakers and the Rockets in points and assists in his 23rd NBA season. Someone on social pointed out that he gave the Rockets their whole lives to train and get ready for this series, and they still couldn't do it. I don't want to talk too much about the GOAT debate, partly because it's not much of a debate to me, but to put it into perspective, Michael Jordan played his last playoff game when he was 35, okay? LeBron has 59 playoff games at an older age than that. And in those 59 games, he has averaged 25 points, 9 rebounds, and nearly 8 assists, while also going to 2 conference finals, winning a title, and a finals MVP. LeBron now has more playoff wins than 21 NBA franchises, and more playoff series wins than 24 NBA franchises. The Lakers were a plus 600 underdog going into the series, which makes this the biggest upset win of LeBron's entire career, according to Vegas. We'll move on to other matchups, but year 23 LeBron just pulled off one of the most impressive things in NBA history, and I hope you realize that. In 2026, a 41-year-old LeBron James had a better playoff series than prime Nikola Jokic. And people want to talk to me about a GOAT debate. I just think that there's levels to this kind of stuff. But let's talk about Jokic now. We'll move on. Denver just lost in 6 games to Minnesota, who lost Anthony Edwards during the series. Jaden McDaniels, though, went off. He usually goes off on defense. He's always been a great defender, but it was actually his offense that seemed to maybe surprise Denver a bit, who just didn't have an answer for him, it seemed like. He dropped 32 points on 52% field goal shooting during the closeout game. Just, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of talk right now about Jokic and how this maybe hurts his resume. I still think he's one of the best offensive talents the league has ever seen. I mean, think about Minnesota literally built this entire team just to stop him and Denver, right? And now, we see it's working, but I expect Denver to make a lot of moves this offseason and try to build a stronger identity around Jokic. I don't think Jokic is leaving. I think he's made it clear that he likes Denver and he just wants to stay there, which is great. I hope that Denver doesn't give him the Cleveland LeBron treatment where they kind of just use that to their advantage and they don't really try to build around him as much, and that's why LeBron left. But I expect Jokic to stay, but I do think there's going to be a lot of moves. I think Denver has a lot of chips that they can play, and maybe just, they've seen now for a few years that this isn't going to work anymore, and they need to do something about it. But in any way you slice it, it's a bad early exit for them. I thought we'd see Denver, OKC, Western Conference Finals, but I also thought that they'd meet Boston in the finals. So 2 out of those 3 are gone just after round 1. So, just a bonkers playoffs so far. We don't know yet about the status of Anthony Edwards for round 2, but I'm really hoping he comes back because Wolves Spurs is a matchup I'm actually really, really excited for. San Antonio didn't seem to have too much of an issue with Portland winning in 5 games. Wemby missed the game due to smacking his face on the ground. I'm sorry, concussions are no laughing matter, and I'm really glad that it wasn't anything worse, but the man has a 37-foot wingspan and can't brace his fall. Come on, dude. And then OKC swept Phoenix. So there's your first round sweep, right? I feel like OKC and San Antonio were maybe the only 2 series that went according to plan in the first round. Every other matchup had something crazy. Gotta be one of the craziest opening rounds in NBA history. At least that I can remember. So I love it. I love it so much. I'm so excited for round 2. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is A Few Rows Up.